All right, guys. So normally for this, I would usually just go directly to the video because Kyle here is covering a video. I think it's on TikTok or something, but it's hilarious. But the reason why I'm keeping Kyle in is because his reactions are fucking hilarious. Like I can't not include Kyle here. So I may not play the entire thing. I'll probably stop after the second guy. But yeah, let's go ahead and get this going.
You know, one of the things I've been talking a lot about lately is how Jordan Peterson is washed. The media landscape has changed for everybody. It used to be the case that the Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro, they were like number one. You had Jordan Peterson was up there. He's part of the Daily Wire network. But in recent years, what's happened is that sort of highfalutin, faux intellectual right-wing stuff, it doesn't sell anymore. It just doesn't. What sells now is the lowest IQ Trump defense you've ever seen by people like Asmongold, or what sells is the Nazism of Nick Fuentes. So on the right, it's that, and it's Fox News, which is a mainstay for the old people, propaganda for the old people, pro-Republican propaganda. That's what it is, right? Now, obviously, the left is a totally different story, and for the liberals, it's a totally different story. But in the right-wing media landscape, you got Asmongold is number one. You have, Nick Fuentes is the Nazi on the block who gets the most eyeballs, and the Daily Wire has fallen off hard. So with that fall comes, you can see it in real time, the internet turning on their former daddy, Jordan Peterson. I mean, he was like every like disaffected, confused young man who leaned right ended up looking up to Jordan Peterson thinking, oh my God, this is like the dad I never had. And he keeps it real with me. And he's so smart. And now they've all turned on him. Right. And so Jordan Peterson, I don't know why he did this, by the way, but he decided I'm going to do a Jubilee video. And the whole point of the Jubilee video is like, what is it? One Christian versus 20 atheists or something. One Christian versus 90 atheists. I don't know. I don't remember the exact number, but the idea is he's the Christian and he's up against all these atheists, right? And what you're going to see here is he's been in his hug box way too long, bro. When all you're used to doing is patty cake, bakers, man. We love Donald Trump and we love Israel. When you're used to doing that all day, you're not sharp anymore. And you're going to get fucking exposed. So here's Jordan Peterson sitting around with a bunch of atheist college kids, and he fucking humiliates himself. Watch this. Here we go.
So do you believe in the all-knowing, all-powerful, all-good notion of God?
What do you mean by believe?
I can't. See, his old school tricks, which were always stupid, but he used to get away with them more because he was so charismatic in how he talked and the way he delivered it. It felt passionate that he could get away with saying, well, what do you mean by believe? When you ask if I believe in God, what do you mean by believe? And what do you mean by God? Now it just comes across as you're a fucking sophist and you don't even know the answer to these questions. You're not even honest with yourself.
What do you mean by believe?
You think it to be true?
That's the circular definition. What do you mean when you say you believe?
How is that circular?
Because you added no content to the answer by substituting the word true and believe.
This is such bullshit. It's like, do you believe in an all-knowing, all-loving God? He's like, what does that even mean? It means what I fucking said it means. Do you think that's true, that there's an all-knowing, all-loving God or whatever the fuck? He's like, that's not how language works, son.
You think it to be true.
All right. So if you believe something, you stake your life on it.
What do you mean by that?
What the fuck does that mean? Look at this dude's face. Look at this dude is all of us right here. One more time. Watch this dude's face.
You stake your life on it.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, Kyle's dying here and it's killing me. But I just want to point out on a more serious note, Jordan Peterson literally takes the word belief that we all use every day and just changes the definition for his own purposes. Like he makes up his own version of the word belief. No one else uses that. No one else uses, you will stake your life. Like, that's your personal opinion, you dumb fuck. Like, that's not the definition. Like, Jesus. Anyway, I'm continuing.
He makes a face like, what? What does that even mean, bro?
Live for it. and you die for it. That's what I mean by that. It isn't something that you...
Why does he talk like that? Why does everything sound like he's like 4 minutes from death and he just got the diagnosis and he's so serious? Oh my God, this guy is such a mess. Holy shit.
And you die for it. That's what I mean by that. It isn't something that you say. It isn't something that's associated with logical consistency. It's not declarative. It's not propositional.
Look at how professional this freaking student is. Like, he's just dead-faced. Like, he already knows. Like, he's destroyed him already. He knows. But he's not showing it. He's just ready for his next takedown.
It's not a figment of your imagination. It's the presupposition of your attention and your action. And you're either fragmented, in which case you worship multiple gods, or there's some unity at the bottom of it.
So this is what's called gish galloping. He's gish galloping here. He's saying a lot of words without saying anything. But this guy's going to call him on it.
So you worship multiple gods, or there's some unity at the bottom of it that makes you an unstoppable force.
Okay, so you're saying that you don't believe something if you wouldn't die for it?
No.
That is literally what he said. That's exactly what he said.
Something if you wouldn't die for it?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I hate people like this. They'll say some shit without saying some shit, and then when you try to bubble it down to its purest form and repeat it back to them, like, so you're saying this, right? And they're like, I'm not saying that. No, but you did. You did say that almost verbatim in this instance, bro. What are you doing? Stop playing these fucking verbal games, bro. Say the shit you actually fucking believe and stand on that shit. I hate people like this. So slippery for no fucking reason. For no reason.
Okay, so you're saying that you don't believe something if you wouldn't die for it?
Not really, no.
Okay. So then,
how would you define belief? Something you say?
Okay, so I explain. Like, I could believe it is the case that this pen exists, but if someone like threatened my life, right, I would lie in order to be able to save my life, right? Like, I think you would do that too. You wouldn't lie to save your
Don't be
life.
so sure.
Like, why is this kid having to explain belief to Jordan Peterson? This guy's supposed to be a professor. He's not that stupid. It's just he just fucking lost. Logically, he lost. And he just doesn't want to admit it. It's so sad to watch him like performing all these mental gymnastics. He's like so washed up and useless now.
Don't be so sure you wouldn't lie about the nature of a pen to avoid being murdered. Are you mental, Jordan? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Look, in the same way, it's fucked up to say, but I think it might be true. In the same way that John Fetterman, like, his brain literally broke when he had a stroke and he became more conservative. Like, brain damage made him more conservative. Jordan Peterson, when he was a fucking, what was it, a Klonopin or Xanax addict, and he went to Russia to get some fucking weird freak fringe treatment in order to detox from it, and they like put him in a coma as he detoxed from it, and then he woke up from it. That shit probably fucked up his head to the point where now, like, he doesn't realize how ridiculous he looks here, bro.
Too. You wouldn't lie to save your life?
Don't be so sure.
You wouldn't lie to save your life?
How much do you know about me? I didn't lie to save my career. I didn't lie to save my clinical practice.
Would you lie to like save your children, your mom, your dad?
I don't think lying would save them.
He can't even engage in the hypothetical because he's caught in a logic chokehold. Shout out to this guy right here. This guy right here is goated. He's goated. He's got Jordan in like 4 simultaneous logic chokeholds, and Jordan is too fucking narcissistic and self-absorbed to realize it.
Can there ever be a circumstance logically that lying could save someone?
Yeah, and if you're steeped in sin, you're likely to live in circumstances like that.
Why is your mouth like that? Why is he doing this like, I'm about to give you a whack right across the smoocher, fella? Like, why is he acting like this?
A circumstance logically that lying could save someone.
Yeah, and if you're steeped in sin, you're likely to live in circumstances like that.
I'll give you an example. If you're like in like Nazi Germany, and it is the case that there's like Jewish people in your attic and you're trying to protect them,
example.
would you lie to like the Nazis?
I would have done everything I bloody well could, so I wouldn't be in that situation.
Would you lie?
Exactly. So the other guy's right and you're wrong. You're just admitting that and not even realizing it.
It's a hypothetical. And it's not
I don't do hypotheticals, bro. What the fuck? You're there to debate atheism versus Christianity, religiosity versus non-religiosity. You're gonna fucking engage in hypotheticals. Oh.
Not only that, but this is Jordan Peterson we're talking about. This guy that says I'm not going to engage in a hypothetical because he's losing and because he knows that he can't logically win this. And that's why he's doing this, like trying to sneak out the back door shit, pivoting all over the place. But he's got fucking logical fallacies like all over the fucking place here. So the hilarity of it is this is fucking Jordan Peterson we're talking about. This is the guy that looks for hypothetical fucking shit and everything. And he digs into like metaphors and talks about the true symbolism of Pinocchio and all this crap. And like this guy of all people to go, yeah, I don't deal with hypotheticals. It's just fucking hilarious. Like, it wouldn't be nearly as funny if it was anyone else.
Oh my God, I'm about to lose it, bro. I'm about to lose it. This guy is a fraud. He is a complete fraud. This is impossible to watch.
It's a hypothetical, and it's
You
not
can't answer
answerable.
hypotheticals?
No, I can't answer a hypothetical like
What?
that because it's
I can't answer a hypothetical, even though people do it all the time, every day, multiple times a day, and it's like one of the most common things we do when we talk.
look.
Did you
Don't
eat
play
today?
games.
I'm not playing games.
So now he breaks out the stern father routine because he's so fucking caught in a logic chokehold that there's no way out. He's fucking. This is him tapping out.
Yes,
asking
you
if
are.
you
If you present me with an intractable moral choice that's stripped of context and you back me into a corner, you're playing game. I just told you
Hypothetical.
I would do everything that I could to make sure that I'm never in that situation. By the time you've got there, you've made so many mistakes that there's nothing you can do that isn't a sin.
Being born in Nazi Germany and trying to protect people that you care about, like there could be a Jewish friend that you have, and you want to protect them.
I think you should
have
just
them in
give
your
up on
attic.
that line of question.
Jordan Peterson just gave up because he refuses to deal with the fucking question. And it's not like he's trying to put it like, oh, you're just trying to trick me into saying something that I don't mean. No, it's a fucking clear cut fucking question. He's not trying to trick you. He wants a fucking answer. You know that you can't do this contradictory bullshit that you do with all the stupid people that believe your crap, Jordan. And so this guy has found a very clever way of illustrating how you're fucking full of shit and you can't find a way out. So now you're just, well, let's move to something else. I've lost. Let's move to something else.
Question.
Give up on
Why? Because you're so utterly defeated and it's humiliating for you. So you want him to stop making you look like the fucking fool you are.
and just like trying to clarify your position because you
I
don't
did
like. Are you like
clarify.
uncomfortable with me asking this question? It's just a basic hypothetical. Like I could ask you.
It's just a basic
Yeah, yeah,
hypothetical.
like,
Yeah, Jordan. It absolutely is a fucking basic hypothetical. How many times in hypotheticals do you bring up, okay, would you lie to save lives in Nazi Germany? It's a fucking common thing. Like, oh my God.
Where
like
you
if you-
put Jews' lives at stake in Nazi Germany, that's just a basic
Obviously-
hypothetical.
Oh my God. He's trying to play like the moralism card. Like, oh, how dare you speak of Jews in such a...
Yes, this specific hypothetical, this exact hypothetical is extraordinarily common in philosophy circles, fucking even in religious talks, in all sorts of debate. This specific hypothetical is one of the most common I have ever heard. And Jordan Peterson wants to make it like, I can't believe you just said that. What a fucking moron.
terrible situation. Oh, do you need your fainting couch? Do you need to clutch some pearls and fall on your fainting couch?
lie in that scenario to save their life, but you're like not trying to answer this question for some reason.
I just told you why.
Are you anti-fascist? Like, so you're
Why are
anti-fascist?
you asking that?
I was just asking, just clarifying. But like, okay, again, you're not answering this hypothetical because you know it shows that you clearly would lie to save
I'm
someone's life.
answering it in
Obviously,
a
that's
manner
not
you
what
don't
truth is.
find acceptable.
Obviously, because I care about truth.
I wouldn't be in that scenario.
Obviously, right? Logically, because that's
No.
already happened. Like that's in the past. You don't have a time travel device. We're bringing this logical hypothetical up to show you that in some circumstances that do happen within the real world, you would lie to save people's lives. So your definition of truth isn't actually how we're typically using it. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to muddy the waters when I ask you, like, do you believe this? Do you think this to be true? So you don't actually have to answer the questions. And plenty of Christians don't like that because they clearly see that you don't really like want to be associated with
I can
Christianity.
imagine that I was in a situation where
This kid is, I mean, Jordan is so washed. This kid is tap dancing on his grave now, y'all. Holy shit.
I could do as a consequence of my previous mistakes was to tell the least amount of lie I could manage. But that would likely indicate that I had made all sorts of catastrophic errors on my way there.
So this is another thing Jordan Peterson does. He's in the cult of fucking personal accountability shit, and they love to push this on people and make it as if there's no external influences that are beyond your control. Jordan has this stupid fucking worldview to where he's also just trying to fucking evade because he's lost here. But outside of that, he does this all the fucking time, and it's so dumb. He wants to make it as if you're ever in that situation, it's a personal fault. It's because you did something wrong. when in a vast majority of the fucking world and history and all these situations, that's simply not the case. Like, why do people think like this? It's like mental retardation on steroids. Like, I don't understand, because Jordan Peterson is not stupid. He is a sophist, in my opinion, as Kyle pointed out. And I think he is more than likely grifting in order to gain notoriety and also to piggyback and make money off of this, more than likely. So he lies because he realizes that he gained a lot of traction in this one particular area. But he tries to like evade and not directly state that he's a believer. And another thing that I found out after the fact, I don't think Kyle covers this. Jordan Peterson got so thoroughly fucking annihilated with these college kids. Not just these two, but if you watch the whole thing, like over and over, he's like, we've seen a lot of these Jubilee things, but I haven't seen to this extent where a person agrees. Like, generally they're like an expert or really good at what they do. But like, usually they're not completely fucking destroyed constantly the entire fucking time. But Jordan Peterson, he can't even make a valid point at all with any of them. It's just sad. It's like he's desperately trying to keep this train rolling so he can keep his fucking money flowing in and his notoriety, whatever it is that he's chasing. But he's not stupid. So it's really hard for me to tell. So I think part of this is he's lying. But there's another part of it to where I think he's mentally ill. And I don't mean that as like an attack. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, you're mentally ill, that's negative. I'm saying that is, in my opinion, part of the reason for why he says the same things that he says and why he believes the things that he believes. I believe that in particular, a death of a close friend of his, and if you go back, you'll hear him talk about it, and you'll see it in his eyes and how he'll drift off and like be looking through you while he's telling the story and shit. I think that created like a sort of beginning stage of like a domino effect of him just completely losing his shit. And then he started going down this rabbit hole of fucking craziness. But anyway, I'm not going to talk forever.
So you would lie to save someone's life. So again, you do believe it to be true in that circumstance, even though you like lied in that scenario. So
not
clearly
without the context that I put it in.
You were not willing to die for it. You were not willing to let other people die for it. So that's not what you see to be true then, seemingly.
You're doing exactly what I said you were doing at the beginning of the conversation. You're generating an impossible, restricted, hypothetical with no precursors to back me into a corner.
How's it possible? Is there something contradictory about it? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too.
Oh my God, Jordan, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? All right, I'm not done. This other guy. So I think that kid is goated. The one we just watched. This one right here is good too. But like, bro, he's getting smacked around. He's getting smacked around by a bunch of college kids. You love to see it. By the way, I also don't think it's a coincidence that the room full of atheists are like super smart and sharp-witted, and they're like, this is like child's play for them to just obliterate this poor old man.
Why is that relevant?
Because you go to a Catholic church, don't you? Or you've attended recently. You're interested in Catholicism, aren't you?
Sure.
All right. Are you familiar with their doctrines?
Somewhat.
Okay, you're
Their
familiar.
doctrines are very
How do they
deep.
regard Mary?
Why are you asking me that?
Because you're a Christian.
You say that. I haven't claimed that.
Oh, what is this? Is this Christians versus atheists?
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to mention, and I fucking got all sidetracked. I think I started to say it, but I didn't finish it. Anyway, so Kyle didn't cover it, but literally this was on Jubilee as Christian versus 100 atheists or something like that, or Christian versus however many atheists. That was what it originally was. And then 4 hours later, Jordan Peterson whined and he got so thoroughly fucking destroyed, he made them change it to Jordan Peterson versus 100 atheists or whatever. The entire fucking debate, what it was called originally, was Christian versus however many atheists. It's just hilarious. Anyhow, continuing.
I don't know.
You don't know where you are right now.
Don't be a smartass.
Well,
and I mean
either you're a
'cause I
Christian
won't
or you're
talk
not.
to you if you're a smartass.
Either you're a Christian or you're not. Which one is it?
I could be either of them, but I don't have to tell
could be-
you.
He's at a Jubilee event that's like Christians versus atheists, or a Christian versus multiple atheists, and he's like, maybe I'm not a Christian. I don't even have to tell you. You're not my daddy. Oh my God. Bro, what happened to this man? It reminds me, you remember the famous interview with Kathy Newman on BBC where like she sort of overreached and was a little too aggressive and didn't make her points in the best way. And so he came out of that looking like this genius who like easily dismantled this BBC host who was trying to smear him. It's a very famous interview. This functionally, these clips I'm showing you are like the exact opposite of that. Like now he looks like Kathy Newman. He's so fucking evasive. He refused to actually make a point or stand on anything. His whole thing is fucking sophistry, where he tries to take you down a road that has nothing to do with the conversation at hand. And these people are desperately trying to get back to the actual conversation, and he can't have it. He can't have it because he's fundamentally not capable of having the conversation.
You don't have to tell me. I was under the impression that I was invited to talk to a Christian. Am I not talking to a Christian?
No, you were invited to.
I think everyone should look at the title of the YouTube channel. You're probably in the wrong YouTube video.
You're really quite something, you are.
Aren't I? But you're really quite nothing, right? You're not a Christian.
Okay, I'm done with him.
He rage quit. Okay, I'm done with him. He's being a little too mean. He needs to go clean his room. Bro, what on earth are we? Oh my God. Washed. So washed. Nobody has ever been more washed. The most washed man on planet Earth. Look, I'm not trying to be too much of a dick. I get it. If you're somebody who likes the old school, the Jordan Peterson who talked more about psychology, most of the time talked about psychology and stuff like that, right? He's a believer in Jung's theories, and he says interesting things when it comes to psychology, or at least he did in like 2017, 2018, whatever the fuck.
Yeah. So I'm going to stop it there. I will say that I think it's worth noting that a vast majority of clinical psychologists, at least from what I've gathered, tend to take Jung. But they don't. I'm not trying to make the case that they all like go with Jung and they're like, oh, he's fucking full of shit, blah, 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 because that's not the case. But it is true that many of Jung's ideas, like the shadow self and the archetypes, are considered pseudoscience. They're not legitimate. Most psychologists do not consider them legitimate. And it's interesting that Jordan Peterson tends to focus on these abstract, like not objective concepts, like talking about how archetypes are important in stories and stuff. Like this is all just subjective, like you're like spewing shit out of your mouth that you personally get from a story and acting as if it's objective in some way when it's not. I think it's worth noting that. So even in the world of psychology, Jordan Peterson wouldn't be considered really much of an accomplished guy. He kind of spouts what they oftentimes would consider the pseudoscience aspect of like at least former psychology. But yeah, this is just fucking hilarious. The first one especially, I have to agree with Kyle. Like that was fucking brilliant. It was brilliant. He was like always like 2 steps ahead. He was very patient. He didn't get emotional. He didn't bite on any of Jordan Peterson's like attempts to like evade or fucking use some sort of fallacy to fucking dig his way out. Like he knew exactly what he was doing. It seems like he did his research on him, or he's just that fucking smart. But it's hilarious, and I love to see it. Thank you for your time.